are starting a new segment this week called The Bests. I'm really excited about this. I love lists. I read a lot of lists, and now I want to make lists. So,
why not?
it seems like a no-brainer to me. People love lists of
They like
things.
arguing about things.
Sure, and I'm fine with
it's
that.
fun.
Argue away. It's cool.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it. So we're gonna basically, here's the idea for this segment. We're gonna create a big list of something, whatever it is, a brainstorm. This week it's the best games for learning. Okay, and then Glenn's gonna pick kind of 5 or so, and I'm gonna pick 5 or so. And sometimes we'll agree, and sometimes we won't agree, and maybe we'll argue about it or debate it or whatever. We don't argue very much. Glenn always says debate in the first part of the intro, and we never actually debate very often. We agree on lots of things. So, but anyways, so this is the best. I don't know if we're gonna have a theme song or whatever, kind of like Dig It or Ditch It. We do have a really cool little graphic that we made. That's pretty rad. So anyways, I'm excited about the best. So welcome to the best. This is the best games for learning. And so we created a list, and it's got 13 games on it. I'm sure we've missed a whole bunch. Should I just run them down?
Run them down.
Run them down. Not in any specific order other than this is the order they came out of our heads. Minecraft, City Skylines, What Remains of Edith Finch, Gone Home, Her Story, This War of Mine, Assassin's Creed Discovery Tour, Sid Meier's Civilization. Then I wrote esports games like Rocket League, whatever other esports games you play in school are fine. And then another category, I'm not sure this is part of the rules or not, but now that I'm thinking through it, casual physics games like Bridge Builder game that you gotta make.
That's true.
The bridge across for the trains, or World of Goo, which I've actually used at school, which was really fun.
Sandbox is a physics game too. Yeah,
there you go.
It's a sandbox. It's not a game. This
is the one where you crash asteroids into planets and then see what happens.
Let's see what happens.
Rad.
It's awesome.
Rad. Oregon Trail, which is a total classic, and another total classic. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? Now I'm gonna have that stupid theme song in my head.
That's a great theme song
for the rest of the night. Okay, so there's a lot of really good games here. I think that there's some no-brainers here. Why don't you go first? Let's give me. I feel like you've got it. I feel like you have it in your head. What do you think the 5 best games for learning are from this list? And give us, maybe you don't have to speak about why for all of them, but maybe give a couple of rundowns. Yeah.
So some of them that just felt like they were influencers, like things that I couldn't ignore, were of course like Oregon Trail and Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego. But there's a ton of other games that we used to play on the Apple IIe that I really enjoyed. Back in the day when we actually got some time to be able to play on the computer, whether they were these games, because Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego is such a fantastic premise of a game, and the way that it's set up, it's choose your own adventure. You're trying to solve a mystery. It's so awesome for how cheeseball it really was. I mean, as far as the text based and whatever might be. But a fantastic game. And of course, Oregon Trail. What a classic, amazing game. My kids are actually looking at it now, Mike. It's hilarious because they're like, oh, what's with this game? It's so 2D, they call it, whatever it means. They don't know exactly what to say. I'm like, this is the game. So those
What's
two games.
Dysentery?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They're like, what did they call it? Don't forge the river. Is that what the word was? I was trying to
fjord? No,
yeah, no,
that's ice.
There's like a little statement that goes with Oregon Trail. Someone's gonna give it to me. So anyway, Oregon Trail, fantastic. And then the games that I think that I've actually used, of course, are Minecraft, I've played a lot of City Skylines, so I love games like that, and I love the potential of things like that. And then there's a teacher, and he's actually been on the podcast, John Fallon, and he uses this game called Her Story, which is fantastic. The way that he uses it to be able to talk about the a specific type of author that you can't trust, and so he embeds it into his class. They would watch
The
it as a
unreliable
class.
narrator.
Unreliable narrator. There you go. And so anyway, Her Story is the perfect example of how to play a video game or a game that deals with that. So I really love that concept, even though I haven't ever played it myself. So many other awesome games out here, and I'm sure there's so many other ones that we're missing too. So that's about five for me that I'm naming.
It's about 5 for you.
Yeah.
So we share. I'm looking at the ones I put my little M's beside, and I think we share 2 of them. I think Minecraft's a no-brainer. Minecraft
Yes.
is, the most popular game on the planet. Like, just for people playing, regardless of whether it's education or not. The fact that you can use the most popular game on the planet also to teach just about anything that you ever wanted to teach is a huge win for people like us who believe in the power of games to learn. So I love Minecraft. I still play it all the time, and now I train people on how to use it, and it's a blast. So I think that's a no-brainer. I am gonna add City Skylines to my list as well. I think it's so underrated as a game just on its own. I'm so happy that it's out, after the fall of, Sim City, which basically crashed and burned the last release. And I think that there's this education version that's produced by Teacher Gaming that everyone should take a look at that teaches environmental science,
That's awesome.
which is amazing. So City Skylines, there is an education version, again, through Teacher Gaming that everyone should check out. I think it goes without saying that I put Sid Meier's Civilization on my list. I'm on record. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that game. I don't think I wouldn't be here if not for literally reading Kurt Squire's PhD thesis on how to use it in education. It's literally what got me thinking about how to use games in learning. So the fact that people have written PhD theses about a video game, kind of tells you a little bit about its value in education, I think. So, Civilization is, I still play it. I'm at 1,700 hours on Civ 5. I think I'm at about 650 hours on Civ 6. So, it's still something I'm into. Not right now because I'm playing Ani all the time, but I'll come back to it. I am going on a 16-hour flight soon. I'm sure I'm going to play some Civilization.
Yep.
So the last 2, What Remains of Edith Finch, Paul Darvazi's work with I Thrive and this whole unit that they developed called the Museum of Me, I think is really important work that isn't getting enough. Like, it's getting a lot of attention in academic circles. It's getting articles that people write articles about it every once in a while, and Paul comes on podcasts like ours and other people's and talks about it, and obviously goes to conferences and gives sessions about it. But I'd really like to see his work, this unit that he's created, this Museum of Me, which is a social emotional learning, unit related to this game. I'd like to see it more out there more. So I would encourage people to look into that, especially if you're looking to use games in a more personal, meaningful way. So the last one, I really think the future is esports in so many ways. I think that, we are raising a generation of kids that the world championships for whatever game is going to be their Super Bowl. We will have, professional esports players earning contracts and making millions of dollars. I mean, they already do for the most part. It's going to be on TV all the time. This is part of the future. And so the careers and the jobs and the ecosystem that supports that, there's going to be more of those roles going forward. And so you're going to have a lot of kids doing some really interesting, like, producers and audio designers and video designers and graphic designers and play-by-play people and like all of these other roles. There's thousands of roles. Think about what goes into a sports broadcast and how many people like work a normal football game and in various production aspects. And that's our kids' future is in some of these roles. So I think introducing kids to the esports ecosystem and getting them enjoying competitive gaming, it's not just good for like the jobs and the future careers and all that stuff, but I think it's good for teaching kids self-regulation and some digital citizenship and having conversations about bullying and toxicity that are parts of the narrative of gaming. So I think that there's a lot of potential there. So there's my 5.
That's good.
I feel
this was an easy one though for both of us to kind of. It was the softball, like you said.
It was the softball.
For us to be able to go ahead. We're not going to disagree with each other on all of this stuff. There's tons of awesomeness inside of this list, and then this list could go probably, if we thought about it, we could probably bust out 50 games that would have various types of educational value. And there's just so many out there. But I just figured the next time we do one of these, the bests, we got to have a controversial topic. Something that we don't make people agree on.
Cool. So, I mean, we wouldn't mind knowing what your bests are. So if you have ideas for not only topics, drop us a line on Twitter or whatever, but also we will probably put a question about this in the chat on education every Friday, 9, 12, and 3. And we'll see if you have any thoughts on your best games for learning.